They assemble at night, each one having prepared as diligently as possible the time given to them before the witching hour, the hour of reckoning, the time when they begin outdoor cartoon television. Stray Casts is on the air.
Fish it out.
Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody out there? Just not if you can hear me. It's the Total Bass Fishing Experience, the Total BFE, right here live. Welcome to Championship Wednesday on Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm your host, Pat Renwick, and a giant show chock full of champions tonight. It's an extravaganza. It's a bass fishing extravaganza as usual.
It's a barrel full of monkeys.
It sure is. It's fun stew and giggles dumplings all night long here on Stray Cast. Coming up first, the 2017 Bassmaster Classic champion. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Jordan Lee finally coming on this show tonight. Oh, Jay Lee. Yeah. That's how we do this. Coming up after that, the 2017 Forrest Wood Cup champion. For the first time ever on the Stray Cast Extravaganza, Justin Atkins. Yeah. Woo! Wow.
Is this real life?
This is really happening.
Yeah.
This is Championship Wednesday. Do you realize that? And speaking of championship champions, sitting right next to me here on my right.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, he was working as a waiter in a cocktail bar when I first met him. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the drummer in the band here. This is Popcorn, a.k.a. Rayon.
Hello.
That's this dude.
Thanks for having me on, Pat.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for being here, Ryan. Thanks for flying in.
Yeah.
Say hello to Kitty. Say hello, Kitty, to J.P. Kitty. Hi. That's that guy. That's that dude right over there. It's JP High. He's a hip-hop fisherman. He hips and he hops.
Birthday every week.
It's his birthday every Wednesday night, and he hips and he hops his way through the world of bass fishing. Producing the snot out of this thing over here with the TH Marine hat on. It's an orange hat, just red on the head like the orange on his hat. That's
how that goes.
That is Andrew Ellenberger, the Ginger Ninja, producing the heck out of this thing right here. Hey, we're happy to be back, and thanks for tuning back in. We had some gremlins last week, but we will not be giving them water this week.
Yeah,
hopefully.
no feeding them after midnight.
So I think we're going to be okay there. But if you do follow us on the Instagram or follow myself, Pat Renwick, on the Instagram, you might see us sometimes hashtag things Bass Family, because we are all one happy Bass family, and especially in this world of bass fishing talk shows, or webcasts or podcasts, however you want to put it. You know here that we are big fans of the Dave, Brian, Pete, and Mike show, a.k.a. Ike Live. They're our buddies over there. And there's some new kids on the block, and I would like you to check them out because they're absolutely outstanding bass and content, and that's our buddy Luke Duncan, Low Budget Live. Check him out on the Luke Duncan Instagram page or LBL Low Budget Live. It's a good time for all too, just like this show. We're one happy Bass and family. And welcome, round of applause for Luke Duncan. That's the dunk, Uncle Dunky.
Good dude.
High five, Luke. It's right there. Hey, put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. When we get back, it is time for Jordan Lee here on Straight Cast. Catch you in a minute. Quality, dependability, consistency, and fish-catching performance is what separates a War Eagle spinnerbait from the pack. Hand-assembled, inspected, and tested in Rogers, Arkansas, War Eagle lures are the choice of Mike McClellan, Andy Morgan, Edwin Evers, and you, the serious bass angler. War Eagle lures, when you absolutely have to catch fish. Find War Eagle lures at your local tackle store or visit wareaglelures.com today. PH Custom Lures by Phil Hunt are quickly becoming the most sought-after custom balsa baits in the industry, from the Little Hunter to the Squeaky P. These baits are pure quality, handcrafted, hand-carved, and hand-painted. But most importantly, they flat-out catch fish. PH Custom Lures has a bait for any situation in a magnitude of colors. Check out the Old School, Straighter, and PH Custom series at phcustomlures.com. That's phcustomlures.com.
yeah.
Oh, yes. Welcome back to Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm Pat Renwick. Right now, we are pretty stoked to bring to you, I think he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up right now. A warm Straight Cast studio audience. Round of applause for the one and only Jordan Lee. Yeah. Woo!
What's up, guys?
What up, Jordan? Hey, Jordan, hit that video button. Do you got the video button pushed?
Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to.
I can't see you. Where's Jordan? Where's Jordan Lee at? He's somewhere traveling back from Michigan. Hashtag pure Michigan right
There
now.
he is.
There's Jordan Lee. Yes. Now we got you. Yes. What's up, dude? Uh-oh. We can't hear Jordan now. Did you hit mute accidentally, Jordan?
Check your mute. And don't crash.
And he's driving. This kid is crazy. He's absolutely nuts. I think you hit mute. Can you hear me, Jordan? Nod your head. Nod your head.
I got you.
There he
we go.
is.
There you go.
Thank God. Technology has prevailed right there. Are you driving and doing this right now?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of in a little bad part of football right now, so I didn't feel like pulling over and getting robbed.
Yeah.
That was a good. So you're still
Don't do
like
that.
in Detroit or something? Is that what you're saying?
I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm actually going through the city, and it kind of just kind of worked out where I couldn't really get over. So
Well,
I'm gonna make it work. I'm good.
yeah, dude. I mean, that's bass fishing talent right there. I could tell you've done this
Yeah.
before.
I can multitask. You know, I'm a pretty safe driver. So
Hey, man, I mean, there are big things happening to you. First off, we want to officially congratulate you on your win of the 2017 Bassmaster Classic. It's a big year for you. Getting engaged, congratulations on that, too, dude. I mean, that's a big deal. Great things happening to Jordan Lee. Would you find it safe to say that you're enjoying a meteoric rise to stardom in the bass fishing galaxy? Is that a safe statement for me to say?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't go that far as far as. I mean, it's been a really good year. I know that it really has been. I've been, you know, it's been amazing the things that's happened. But you know, year to year, I always say it. You're only as good. I think you're only as good as your last tournament. You know, I mean, you can have a bad year really easy out there. So I mean, I try to stay kind of level headed, you know, and not think I'm on top of the world, because I know how quick you can, you know, I know how quick you can be on the bottom. So but it's
Right.
been an awesome year.
Good,
sure.
good way to look at it, man. But I want to break it down. I mean, let's kind of look at this in retrospective here, because you are, in my opinion, a force to be reckoned with. Grant, I love that you're humble and you're saying you got to fish in the moment and all that great stuff. But dude, like 3 years, you've pretty much been at this in the elites, right? Is that right? 3 years?
Right. Yeah. 3
Okay.
years.
You made the Bassmaster Classic all 3 years, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
You won one of them. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn
Right.
good accomplishment. Okay. Now here you've been out of, let's see, I got this here. Out of 48 derbies, you've been in the money 38 times. That's pretty good odds.
That's really
Right.
good.
That's pretty good odds. Okay, now watch out for people driving with temporary tags, because they will hit you out there. I just want you to know that.
Gotta watch out for those guys.
I want you to know that. Now, here's the deal. Your short time at this game, almost $750,000. Okay,
Right.
That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool deal. I know it cost you like $672,000, $100 million to fish this.
Right.
Here's a little interesting fact, okay? And I usually have JP High, the hip hop fisherman, do this, but I forgot to give it to him ahead of time. You've caught
Right.
1,855 pounds of bass, okay?
Right. Right. Sounds like a lot. That is a lot of bass.
That's a lot of LBs, dude. Now, here is the magic of this statement right now. Out of all that, if you take your earnings, okay, and the number of pounds that you've caught, each pound of fish that you caught. Tell them, Ryan Whitaker, how many dollars a pound?
$388.94
$388.94 a pound. Whoa! Wow, Jordan.
That's tuna.
Yeah, that's a lot. That really I had no clue about that. So
I mean, you could take your fiance to the Waffle House for a year on that money.
you ain't lying.
You know what I'm saying, dude?
It's on like 1 pound.
Hey, so you just got back from the Catalina wine mixer, basically, Lake St. Clair. You know, I mean, that's what it was like out there, wasn't it?
It was really close. It was a crazy tournament. A lot of big bags popping off. So I mean, it was just one of those. It was the best smallmouth tournament I think we've had, as far as everybody bringing.
Unbelievable. Not a lot of bites, dude, but just the right kind.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I felt like as the tournament went on, I was, had the right bait for the big ones, and like you said, it wasn't a lot of bites. It wasn't a numbers deal, but the size out there was just crazy. I've never seen it. I think a lot of the guys we usually go to St. Clair, and it's usually a numbers deal where you're catching a good bit, but this time it seemed like the numbers were down, but the size was definitely way up.
What was that bait that
What were
you
you
were
dropping?
throwing?
Yeah, what were you dropping on them?
Yeah, I
white
was
thing.
dropping it was a Strike King. It was a Z2 is the name of it, and it floats, so it's it's kind of unique. The plastic where it doesn't sink down, and those fish were eating on like big perch, and there was a lot of bigger bait, and for whatever reason those smallmouth just love that thing when it just floats up and doesn't really sink down in the grass. So it's just one of those baits that was just getting bigger bites for sure.
Were you nose hooking that deal?
So my brother kind of got me on to how to rig it. It was I was throwing a 1/0 rebar hook, and just like a little straight shank hook, and just kind of threading it through the plastic where it was just straight and the hook was like exposed. So I wasn't using a traditional drop shot hook, but that hook was definitely the deal. I lost a couple, but I mean it caught a lot of them.
That's the old Aaron Martin special, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that hook. I'm definitely not sponsored or anything by them, but I mean it's for a robo worm and just a lot of different baits. I mean that hook's it's definitely it's just a good one.
So you were rigging it as if it was like on a jig, just an exposed hook. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. And what were you braid to fluoro, or were you straight fluoro? What was the deal?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the braid to fluoro. I mean, I've used that for years. I mean, several years now, and I don't think I'll ever fish with anything else. On drop shot tackle, it's definitely works for me.
That holds on to sturgeon too, right?
Yeah, that sturgeon got me today. I mean, I'm still upset. On this whole way home, I've been whining and crying about it, but yeah, it got me. But
dude,
it was awesome. It was awesome to watch, though. I mean,
it's
it could have been worse. At least it was in the net, and you guys were diving for it. It was pretty cool to watch, man. That was a giant.
I was happy we got it up, got it close to the boat, anyways.
Dude, it was amazing. Now, I unfortunately did not get to watch it today on Zone Alive, but Mark sent me a picture, and it looks like there's a damn tarpon in Lake St. Clair, the way it's coming up. Dude, it was crazy.
Crazy. I've never, that was the biggest freshwater fish I booked ever. So, Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, I didn't even really know exactly what sturgeon looked like because I've never really seen. I don't think I've seen one in person. So,
Absolutely nuts, man. Hey, well, did
no,
you on that back to that St. Clair Derby last weekend? I mean, not too shabby. What you were in fourth, right, dude?
yeah. I finished in fourth, and I led the second, and third day. And I had that tough final day, and ended up in fourth.
So the reason I called it the Catalina wine mixer, and I don't know if this affected you at all, but I mean, were you getting affected by the flotilla out there at all?
Yeah, I was fishing around a crowd, which I didn't really want to, but it was happening out there. It was the place to be, and the third day of the tournament is when I had my biggest bag that day, but there was a lot of local boats, um, a lot of people fishing out there, and it kind of got beat up. But I say that, and the final day there's still two guys in the top 10 that had 20-pound bags out there, so um, still a lot of fish around that area, but it definitely got a lot of pressure over the course of the tournament.
So do you think that I mean St. Clair is known for numbers? I mean, no doubt about it. It's known for numbers. So you as a bass fishing professional, somebody that's eaten because you're making a living bass fishing,
Right,
do you
right.
like were you specifically targeting larger fish? Like are you fishing are you eliminating areas that you know are numbers areas and basically going where the Slubberdigullions live? Is that kind of the deal?
Well, kind not really. I mean, throughout the tournament, it was hard to get bit in practice. I mean, but you caught better fish. I caught some good ones in practice, but kind of random. And that area, I didn't really practice a whole lot. I practiced just a short amount of time, and got a few quality bites. You know, 3 or 4, and I didn't really know what was around there, and I kind of figured out more in the tournament. Found the fish the first day and the second day. Kind of dialed it in a little bit better every day, and just kind of happened to get around the right size. I mean, it wasn't something I knew coming in. I was gonna be killing them out there, or
Gotcha.
catching big.
We
So
were kind of discussing here in our camp that about the numbers thing at St. Clair, world class fishery, no doubt. But what kind of astonished us was that a lot of anglers um, were not catching limits of fish. Like, what was that because
yeah,
they chose to swing, or like they could have ran in the canals and jacked a few green fish? I mean, what was the
right.
deal? How was that?
Yeah, the numbers deal. It just wasn't. I think some guys maybe were catching numbers, but it really. I know my brother. He did well, and he wasn't catching that many. He was catching some more than I was. He was on the Canadian side, and uh, I don't know. I think it was just I think the cycle that I don't know. Can y'all see me? Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe. I just think how the lake is going through a cycle right now. I think there's just better than average size fish in there right now, and
But still, I'm wondering how did some guys not catch a limit? How did that
well,
happen on St. Clair?
yeah. So I mean, I didn't catch a limit on the final day, and uh, I know that it was hard to get bit for me. I mean, it really was. I was throwing the big bait, and after a couple days of big, catching big stringers, I knew that bait, if I could catch like only like 6 or 7, I'd have a chance at minimal 20 pounds, and that's kind of something in a tournament you look for. I mean, you're not looking for numbers, and out there, it wasn't an easy tournament to get bit. Unlike the last couple of times we've been there, it seemed like this time the numbers were way down.
Gotcha.
So basically, the big fish just weren't grouped up. They were here and there, and the smaller fish were probably grouped up closer in. Were you? I mean,
Yeah.
were you seeing a lot of fish on your graph out there, or was it pretty much a ghost town and then just a random big bully swimming along?
Yeah, so it wasn't. I mean, I hadn't fished St. Clair that much, but it really seems to me those fish they're in and around that grass. The grass is only about a foot tall, but I think they kind of hang around it, and it's hard to really mark them unless they
come up.
unless they come up and are up off the bottom a little bit. But I didn't get to I didn't mark many fish all week, and that makes it hard too.
Yeah.
You know, and you're out there in the middle of the lake and you're just kind of blind casting around. But the bait fish that was definitely key. Is having that around. I don't normally pay attention to that, a ton, because a lot of times, you're not in a place where it really matters, because there may be bait everywhere, but out there it was definitely key having, you saw a lot of bait on your graph, and they were definitely around that.
Right.
Hey, Jordan, we're doing this thing on the Bookface Live, as well as StrayCast.net, and so if anybody's got any more questions for Jordan Lee, make sure you get them in now. But I got a couple viewer mail questions for you here. Okay.
I'm all.
Yeah. This one comes from Mark in Michigan. Okay. And Mark wants to know, at what time did you realize, wow, oh no, it just cut out here. Wow, I am the king. And is this new stage of music at the Elites? What the heck is he saying here? And is this new stage music at the Elites for the king to play? So, and this is what he's got going right here. And tell me if you can hear this. So, two-part question. At what point did you realize you were the king? And what time did you realize that this was your stage music?
Yeah, I realized it. Today was actually the day I realized it when Zona anointed me at about 9 o'clock this morning. So that was my first real, being the king, and that's kind of when it all went down.
So what is your new title?
He had all kinds of names for me today. I really don't know. I was really confused. He had a couple different names. Yeah, I think Jordanus Maximus, King Jordanus Maximus.
That's appropriate.
Yeah, he had that one and a couple other ones that he just was throwing out of his mouth. But
is this a day you'll never forget, Jordan?
Yeah, it definitely. It was one for the books.
We have another viewer mail question here, okay? And this one is from Justin in Alabama. Okay. And and Justin in Alabama wants to know what you want to be when you grow up.
I want to be, Justin Atkins when I grow up. And, say that I could, win a Forrest Cup and, just be an unbelievable fisherman, and have a good looking wife, and stuff like that.
That's your goals. That's your aspirations.
Pretty much my goals.
I think you could do that. I think you could do it.
Yeah, you're on your way to that.
I mean, speaking of that, do you ever just wake up and say, "Holy shit, I'm a Bassmaster Classic champion"? Does this still happen to you?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, it does. It really does. Like I feel like, I wake up sometimes and I'm like, I'm just a normal dude. I mean that really. I mean I am. I'm nobody special, but after you win the Classic, people kind of put you on that platform that I feel like I don't deserve, so to say. But it's definitely been crazy. But keep the music.
There it is, Bassmaster Classic champion.
Jordan, do you dig into the bass history at all? classic history and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm not a super nerd, but I mean, I know a pretty good bit, but not.
Well,
I know a little.
I'm really into it. I'm sure you know this, but do you know who the youngest angler to ever win a classic was?
Was it Stanley Mitchell?
That is correct.
He got it right. Stanley Mitchell. Good job,
Yeah.
Jordan.
Do you know what place you are in youngest to win a classic?
I think I'm third.
You are third.
You can't stump
Nailing
Jordan Lee.
it.
You
Who's
cannot stump.
second? Who's second?
Brian Kershel.
That
That
is
is
right. God
correct.
rest his soul. God rest
Now,
his soul.
Stanley Mitchell, he was 21. Kershaw was 23. You were 25. I thought it was really cool. Stanley Mitchell's acceptance speech on stage. He said something I hadn't heard really anyone say before, and he thanked all of his fellow competitors for all the help that they gave him throughout the year. Now, I got to ask you, is there any one of the other pros coming up that you'd like to shout out that really helped you out coming up?
Are you trying to make him cry?
Yeah.
Hell no.
No?
Now I'm being funny. I'm totally kidding. Now that's an awesome statement, and I think for me, I mean, there's somebody that's always helped you growing up. I mean, whether you knew it at the time or not, but a couple of the pros, that fish the elites now, Justin Lucas. I mean, when I was in college, he was doing he was announcing for college
Right.
fishing, and I got to fish with Justin in the FLW tour, as a co-angler, and he always taught me a lot about a little bit, about everything, just getting into it, and that was kind of something that I think everybody needs when you're getting into the professional level, is just somebody to talk to, whether it's sponsors or new baits. But I will say this now after being in the elites a couple years, they don't tell me anything.
Ain't happening.
Yeah, they ain't gonna help you out
happening.
anymore.
I mean,
No way.
if there's a new bait, a new knot, I mean, I don't care what it is, I won't know about it from my fellow competitors. Promise you.
They ain't gonna talk about no
It's a-
Demiki rig, are
Not their
they?
job to feed the king.
No Demikis, no Tekler frogs, none of that.
Tackle Sprecher. ain't happening. Hey, we like to play game shows here on Straight Cast. You ever been on a game show before?
I haven't. I can't say I have.
Well, you want to play a little Louisville Drive-In game show action right now?
Do it. Let's play
All right,
it.
dude. This is called What's on Your Mind. All right. So
All right.
I am going to give you a phrase, and
Okay.
you pretty much tell me the first thing that pops into your mind. Are you ready? Can I get a little game show music, Ginger Ninja? Ah, yes, it's time for What's on Your Mind with Bassmaster Elite Series touring professional Jordan Lee. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. Jordan's driving in Louisville. He's playing a game show. Jordan, the first word to you is Bubba bait. Bubba bait. What's on your mind?
Chicken livers.
Chicken livers is
Nice.
a Bubba bait. I got you right there. Man, that was close. Man, that was close.
When you put on your blinker and you don't see the guy on your blind side.
Especially when you're doing a bass fishing talk show on Skype while you're driving.
Exactly.
Yes, I got you there. The Alabama Shake. The Alabama Shake.
Yep. Oh man, probably throwing a swim jig over some grass.
Swim
They call that
jig. There.
the shake.
That's the Alabama Shake.
Yeah.
The Shooter McGavin of bass fishing. The Shooter McGavin of bass fishing.
When you catch a 5-pounder at the last cast and you just throw them in the boat, and you shoot her McGavin to your rod, and you just like boom.
That's an outstanding answer, but the correct answer is Skeet Reese. Skeet Reese is the Shooter McGavin of bass fishing.
Got it.
Who is the bougiest man in bass fishing?
Bougiest?
Yeah.
Oh man, gosh, y'all put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Bougiest?
Come on.
Probably Roland Martin.
Roland Martin is the
Yeah.
bougiest man in bass fishing.
That's
son.
pretty
Six,
solid.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounder. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounder, son. It's right. It's right there. It's right there.
Big old giant.
Spike.
First thing that comes, chartreuse.
Chartreuse. Okay,
Nice.
but the correct answer
where he's
is
going.
Spike Lee. He's the black sheep of your family. Spike Lee. Okay, that's Spike Lee. Who's the Nostradamus of bass fishing? Who seems to be able to predict bass fishing future?
Aaron Martins.
Aaron, dude, we're mind melding there. It's totally Aaron. How does he know this stuff?
I don't know.
How does Aaron do that? How does he do that? Hey, man, you're from the new breed. You're like the new era, the new age of bass fishing, okay?
Right.
You really are. You're from the new school, up from the college ranks, and now into this evolution of technology, so to speak. All right? Do you feel that when you came into the game of bass fishing that you might have an advantage over guys like, say, Aaron Martins or Kevin Van Dam or Stan
Roland Martin?
Fragerstorm?
Are you saying do I think I have an advantage over those guys?
In
at
this
all?
era, is this era easier to make a living in bass fishing? Is it?
I don't think so. Honestly, I think it's harder. These guys, they Kevin, they've been around for a while and they've seen a change, but they figure it out quick. It's not something that they don't know about. They're on their game. So I think coming in to the sport, you're refreshed. You hadn't done it for 20 years. I think that's the advantage that we have.
Gotcha.
When you jumped into it, though, did you, when you first started fishing, were you using electronics, stuff like that, right off the bat? Or was it just bang in the bank, stuff like that?
Yeah, I really started learning my electronics probably in college at some point when I started getting good with them. But definitely not, not when I just first started fishing. I was really, learning kind of just the basics.
Right.
Polymer knots and stuff.
Yeah, just stuff like that. Just kind of
Alberto knots.
Yeah, the Alberto Clemente knot, along
Exactly.
with Texas rig and stuff. Hey,
Exactly.
when we had Seth Feider on last week, and he kind of told us that he's having a pretty damn good year too, just like you are.
Yeah.
I mean, you're sitting number 8, so that's a pretty respectable year. So he told us that like his go-to deal has been keeping things really simple this year, and that's been swimming that jig, Alabama shaking, and flipping a jig. What's been your kind of go-to thing, man? What's kept you consistent this year?
Oh man, I always feel like I have to mix it up a lot. Seems like every tournament for me, it's a different bait that shines. And I think that's just kind of the lakes we go to. But yeah, I mean, I've really caught them on everything you can imagine this year. Little swim baits, Senkos, top water. You name it.
The kitchen sink.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah, the whole deal right there.
That's usually what's key for me. Just kind of mixing it up, and I definitely try to keep it simple, but finding the key spots is definitely that's key in our tournaments. Is not just figuring out one deal, but having a couple different things going.
Got to know where they're at, dude.
Got to know where they're at.
You got-
And I said it before. It's most of the time it's not what you're throwing; it's where you're throwing it, and that's always big in our tournaments.
That's the deal, dude. I'm getting the old out of time here from the Ginger Ninja, but anything that you want to say to your fans or your sponsors before you get the hell out of here?
I mean, yeah. Before y'all kick me off, thanks for keeping up with me, and sorry if I was a little bouncy on this trip. I didn't want to get mugged.
We like it, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the magic of bass fishing talk shows right here.
This is it. I mean, you never know where you're going to have guys. I mean, you have Finder. There's no telling where he was at.
Oh, he called us from the parking lot of a Chinese restaurant before.
It's the first mobile interview we've done.
Yeah, and what else have we? Oh, James Watson was swearing at people in a church parking lot. That was pretty cool.
Itch Monroe was breaking fish off.
Yeah,
from the
he was
mats.
breaking off in the Delta, and he was really mad at me. That was a good one. Oh, Bobby Lane had a great time at the picnic. He called in from the picnic. So this is magic, dude. This is magic.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me, and just thanks for everybody for keeping up.
Dude, and thank you so much for the support you show this show, and we really appreciate it, and we had a great time with you. We hope you had a good time, too, dude.
I did. Call me anytime.
All right, you got it. That's Jordan Lee.
Thanks,
He's
man.
the 2017 Bassmaster Classic champion. We expect more great things from him, as I'm sure you do, too. Hey, put the power poles down. We got another champion coming on Championship Wednesday. Here tonight, Justin Atkins, coming up after the break. Don't you go nowhere.
The swim jig technique is one of the most successful ways to put fish in the boat. Time in and time out, Brovani Baits swim jigs are just the right tool for the job. Beaming with quality, the Brovani swim jigs come in a myriad of colors, feature the best premium hooks and solid trailer keepers to give you, the serious bass angler, the confidence you need to accomplish your goal of putting more fish in the boat. So go to BrovaniBaits.com and start climbing the ladder to swim jig success.
Regis Outdoors is quickly becoming the industry leader in tournament fishing apparel. There's no better way to represent your sponsors than with a Regis jersey. At Regis, you can get a short sleeve, long sleeve, sweatpants, the best prices in the industry. Regis also offers club and team discounts, special high school and college prices. Our website is easy to navigate, and Regis' staff will make the process quick and easy for you. Regis Outdoors, offering high-quality tournament apparel for the weekend angler. Outfit yourself from head to toe. Check out Regis online at www.regis.com.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Welcome back to Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm Pat Renwick. This is the popcorn. This is Ryan Whitaker right here. And right now, finally, we're making this happen. Your 2017 Forrest Wood Cup champion, ladies and gentlemen, Justin Atkins. Yeah. Woo!
What's up, guys?
This is finally happening, Justin.
Yeah, man, we're making it happen for sure.
It's finally there. Give me an internet high five. Internet high five right there. Boom. Are you sleepy right now? You look a little sleepy.
I am, man.
Yeah.
Wore out. It's been nonstop for about 2 weeks, and I've got a 9-week-old black lab puppy, and last night he did not want to let me sleep, so
Oh,
I'm
wow.
dragging a little right now.
What's his name?
His name is Zeus.
Zoo. That's very appropriate.
Solid.
That's awesome.
I think this is the best background we've had so
Yeah,
far.
I see I see a little cup back there. There's a chalice behind you. What is
some-
that pimp chalice? Oh.
That would be your 2017 Lake Murray Champion Cup.
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
Round of applause for that. Where's our studio audience for that? Wow. Holy cow. You should see the signs they're holding up for you out here.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. Well, first thing off the bat, I have a business proposition for you. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Okay, so we just had your buddy on, okay? What's his name again?
Something Lee.
Something Lee, yeah.
Yes. It's Stan Lee.
Yeah, Spike Lee. We just had
There you
Spike Lee on. Well, so seriously, all kidding aside, this is completely a true story that I'm just making up right now. So here's the deal. So we get you, all right, Justin Atkins, Forrest Wood Cup champion, 2017, 27 years old. We get Jordan Lee, 2017 Bassmaster Classic champion, 26 years old. And what we do is we create a pay-per-view event. Cage match, dude. Fight to the death. Cage match, fight to the death. No holds barred. Pay-per-view, $99 a pop. I think it'll go down in history as a crazy event.
Are you talking them fishing against each other?
No,
or
we're
actually
talking
cage match?
talking MMA fighting. We're talking.
He don't want none.
He don't want none of that. That's a moneymaker, though, is it not?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely. We better start off by like arm wrestling with like non-casting arms.
yeah,
Yeah.
just to make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
But I mean, I know that you got a giant check that said $300,000 on it, but think about the possibilities of this pay-per-view event.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely, make $1 or $2 more.
You
I
could-
mean, most of them will be coming to see me, since I'm kind of like Justin Mayweather. But a few people might want to watch Jordan too.
Do you notice that he looks like Conor McGregor? That Popcorn does. Can you see the shocking resemblance?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
He's a lot more petite though in real life.
In slightly better shape than him.
Yeah. Dude, let's get to know Justin Atkins, okay? Let's give us a little bit of Justin Atkins history. Bring us from the starting gates, dude.
When I was just a kid, probably 4 or 5 years old, my dad would take me brim fishing, and that, turned into me bass fishing at the age of 7, 8. He'd take me in the afternoons and things like that. And by the time I was probably 9, we would fish a team tournament or two in the summer, and I mean, that was just for fun, just to say that we were doing it. But by the time I was probably 12 or 13, we were pretty serious, fishing a lot of team tournaments all over the state. And at 16, I started fishing BFLs and weekend series as a co-angler. And at 20, I, started fishing the coast events. I started fishing BFLs as a boater when I was 19. I fished some coastas when I was 20. Went back to college when I was 22 and fished for Mississippi State. When I got done with that, I got a job opportunity in Florence working for Timmy Horton. I moved up here and fished the Alabama Bass Trail and some BFLs and worked. And I got another job opportunity working for Lake Master, and that allowed me a lot more time off. And I kind of started out with the idea of working for Lake Master and trying to open like a guide business.
Gotcha.
And the rumor got out on the street that the All-American was going to be on Pickwick, which is, my home lake.
Yeah.
And it was going to be this year. And so instead of working on that guide business, I kind of started focusing my efforts on getting money together to fish the tour. I would work for Lake Master and fish the tour because I felt like if I could get enough money together to get started, plus the first tournament was going to be on Guntersville, I didn't know what to expect on how well I would do, but I did expect to, do well enough to possibly get a check. And just get the year started off with one. I should get a check in and then make it to the All-American. I felt like I'd have a good event there. I didn't know if I would win or not, but I felt like I should have a good event and running a Ranger boat and Ranger Cup money. I felt like that would, definitely get me through the year. Here, Zeus came to visit.
There's Zeus.
Done.
That's outstanding.
He's chasing that tennis ball.
I
He don't
see
get, he
that.
don't let the thing get far from him.
He'd probably fit in that cup, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would right now, but not for much longer. He's growing like a weed. But so anyway, so that's kind of where I got my start. And the regional last year was going to be at Lake Dardanelle, which is a lake that I've had some success on before. And so I decided that by if I could make the All American through that regional, that I was going to sign up and fish the tour. And I ended up finishing third at Dardanelle and made the All Americans at the first day available. I called and paid all my deposits, and
Nice.
about, I don't know, 9 months later, here we are.
And there it is, dude. In a phenomenal season this year on the FLW tour, and wow, winning the Forrest Wood Cup as a rookie.
Awesome.
Holy cow! You are blessed, dude. Sincerely,
Absolutely.
you are blessed, man.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, that's, and that's, a lot of people ask me about pressure, and did I feel any pressure all year? No, I really didn't, because I felt like, God had a plan and he lined it up for me, and I just felt like it's where I was supposed to be all year, and it's been really good for sure.
Dude, everything happens in life for a reason. We hear it all the time. And there is no coincidences. That is for sure.
Did you feel like you were going to win during your practice?
No, a lot of people ask me that. I felt like after practice, there was going to be about 4 or 5 guys that were really going to be on the deal. I told Rob Newell he's going to get one fishing cane piles, hands down, period. And I felt like there was going to be 4 or 5 guys that were really going to run them up and, really catch them. I knew I'd be one of those 4 or 5, but I didn't know that I was going to be the one that's going to win. A buddy of mine texted me and said, "What's it going to take?" And I said 18 pounds a day. And he said, "Can you catch that?" And I said, "Yes." So, I mean, I felt good about it, but I knew there was going to be some other guys that were really going to lay the hammer on them too.
You put them in the boat.
I did.
I mean,
it worked out.
That was the craziest thing, going around asking everybody, and we interviewed a bunch of the guys, and everyone was losing fish. Everybody. I mean, I think you had a few key misses too, but it sure seemed like you were putting more of them in the boat. What was the key in doing that?
A lot of I had some fish that would just miss my topwater bait, and that's just going to happen. But I only had 2 fish that I felt like were possibly hooked that came off, and they immediately, kind of hooked up at the beginning of the cast and then pulled off. And so I don't know how well I ever had them hooked or anything like that, but once I started fighting the fish, I never lost one.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Wow.
And
those
if
were
I
long
ever got
casts.
3 or 4 reel turns on one that I was fighting, I never lost one the whole event.
And that's, with treble, you were catching a lot of them with treble hooks. And,
all of them.
And long casts. I mean,
every one of them come on,
one of them.
and I'm a little stick, and I think sometimes they blow up on it, and line maybe gets wrapped up on them, or anything else. Several things could have happened to those fish that I felt like were hooked up for a second and come free. But as far as the ones that I landed, I think the deal was I like to throw straight braid. And I used to always kind of throw too stiff of a rod, and you'd bend your hooks out,
right,
or rip a big hole in the fish. He'd jump, he'd come free. But I've gotten over that complex as I've gotten older, and I've realized that I don't have to have a super stiff rod. And so, throwing that big pencil popper, it's almost right at 6 inches long. I don't know how much it weighed. I mean, it's a bunch. You could throw that thing like a missile. And so I went to a 7-foot 5-inch rod, which was long enough to really load up and throw that bait. But I was throwing a composite action, kind of a medium action rod, so it really loaded up when a fish would hit it way out there. Well, that braid would take all the slack out, and you could just put pressure on with that rod, but it loaded up so good it wouldn't bend your hooks out.
Right.
And once you got them hooked up on that rod played them so well. I mean, I just horsed them to the boat and flopped them in. I didn't even worry about getting the net unless it was a true just giant. And to be honest with you, if it'd been any time other than that, I would have just flopped them too.
You've been flipping them right in that boat. No time for netting.
That's right. I don't know. I'm not real coordinated. Trying to hold a rod here and a net here. So a lot of times, if they're real big, I like to get on the back deck where the boat's the lowest in the water and just kind of slide them over that gunnel and bring them in there.
That's called hackneying them,
not
dude.
Something people practice. I don't think the net thing. Yeah.
No, definitely not. But if if I'm ever gonna be in a light line tournament, people may make fun of me because I'll be out there on a Tuesday trying to net them. But it's definitely something. If I'm ever gonna be in a tournament where I have to use it, I'm gonna practice it before that event gets there.
Good idea.
Hey, when you were on stage, we were watching you from backstage at the Cup, and you told the story, man. That I mean, dude, you were welling up. I mean, what an emotional, overwhelming experience. But you told the story about how you got sad because there was a certain gentleman retiring. And you wanted to get your trophy from that. Tell us the story. I want to hear you tell it.
So when I was like, gosh, I don't know. You'd have to look. I was born in 1990. And so whatever year this guy retired, you could do the math to figure out how old I was. I think it was in about 97 or 98. So I was about 8 years old. Me and my mom and dad and my sister were all sitting around the living room watching TV. And my dad's flipping through Bassmasters. And he just reads an article and he's like, golly, Ray Scott's retiring, from B.A.S.S., which that was the time when ESPN, bought him and Ray was, ready to retire. He had created a dynasty there. So I just got up and left the room. Well, probably like 10 or 15 minutes goes by. My mom come in there and she's like, what's wrong with you? I was laying in my bed, the lights cut off, I was crying. And she's like, what's wrong with you? Like everything was fine. She didn't know what was going on. And I just turned around and I looked at her and I said, I wanted Ray Scott to hand me the trophy when I won the Classic. And so at 8 years old, that's all I cared about, was bass fishing and being a professional fisherman. And that meant a lot to me then. So, people always say, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, I wanted to be a fisherman.
That's right.
And it never changed. That's all I've ever wanted to be. I might have tried to make my mom happy and say, well, I'm going to be a dentist when I grow up. But, like, that was never the plan. Like, I
want to fish, dude.
I tried to help her sleep better at night once or twice and told her I was going to be a doctor or I was going to be a fisherman.
The white lies. We're fishermen.
Doctor.
We're fishermen.
That's right.
So is it still a goal, Justin, to win the Bassmaster Classic? Is that?
Everything. Nobody's ever won AOI in both divisions and won the Cup and the Classic. Nobody's ever done that. And you always strive to do everything. As a fisherman, you win Angler of the Year every year. You always want to win the Cup. You want to fish the other, the other top tier level of fishing, and you want to win Angler of the Year there, and you want to win the Classic there. It's not, I don't ever want to be complacent. And, let's say that in the next 3 or 4 years, I end up making that swap, and I win Angler of the Year and the Classic over there. Well, then we're going to figure out how we're going to fish them both and win them both in the
That's
same
right.
year.
That's the deal.
There's always another goal to strive for. You don't ever want to be complacent because I promise these other guys aren't. They're figuring out what they can do to be the best every day. And,
sure.
That's what makes the sport fun. There's no plateau to it. There's always something else that you could do, to be the best. So that's what we're striving for sure.
And
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And your buddy Jordan just told us that, when we hear it from a lot of guys that come on this show, that you're only as good as your last Derby. You really are. And you stated it right there. You cannot be complacent in this sport because bassing ain't easy, dude. Let's face it. This is not an easy game, dude.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I love listening to like motivational speakers and things like that. And Eric Davis, I think, is a really big one I like to listen to. And he talks about, I don't watch a lot of professional football, but he talks about a commercial. Somebody who just won the Super Bowl. And, the dude hits a rep on the bench press and he says, I just won the Super Bowl. I'm going to take a break. And he holds that, 325 up for 2 seconds. And then he goes back to repping. And he's, his break was for 1 second, because if, I could sit here and just be content. I just won the Forrest Cup. It's great. I'm going to take a break until January. Dude, I'm not going to be prepared when January gets here. You got to be fishing. You got to be doing your homework. That's cool. When I walk through the living room, I can look at this and keep walking.
And plus, we lost.
Hold on. No, hold on. I'll be right back. Hold it.
Zeus, I think Zeus stepped on the computer. There he is. Okay. Great. Hey, we're doing this thing on the Bookface Live as well as StrayCast.net, and your fans have some questions for you. Are you ready?
Let's have them.
Excellent. What's going on, JP High, the hip hop fisherman? What do you got for Justin Atkins?
My mic doesn't work.
I can hear you.
I can hear him.
He wants to know,
Talk into it though.
was every fish caught on that pencil popper that you weighed?
Yes, everyone. I caught them all. I would have caught all 15 on the exact same one, but after fish number 13, I lost the one I'd been throwing all week. I got a little careless, and I let my line get through my split ring, and I think I had a big striper take it from me. But they were all on the exact same style of bait, and it was the exact same one. It just wasn't the same one. If that makes sense.
Right.
So you never threw a fluke style bait. That's what he's really asking.
You know, I did in practice a little bit, but I didn't seem to catch the size fish I was going to catch on that pencil popper. I caught a lot more 2-pounders with the occasional good one, and throwing that big pencil popper, I got less bites, but I caught a lot of good ones with the occasional 2-pounder.
He was asking is there a glide deal with that fluke? I'm interested in that. What does that mean?
Yeah, there's, I played with it a little bit. There's several different ways you can kind of rig it to make it run real straight. And, that's what you want, when you're herring fishing. You don't want that thing running through the water doing this or, hitting this number. I mean, a herring runs real straight. And if you get it rigged really good and straight, you could just reel it real fast and then kind of kill it. And that's really when you would get your bites. But you'd want that thing to run just as straight as possible. And I got a little frustrated with it because you'd make it run straight for 10 casts and then you'd really try to heave it out there and it'd slide down the hook a little bit and it'd be hella caught. I just stuck it back in the rod box. I was kind of over that.
And got the IMA back out.
Go with the stock.
I decided I like watching my bait come back too much, and that kept me entertained in the slow time. So I just stuck with the big top water.
That's good stuff. The only other question I really liked was, have you drinking out of the cup?
Not, and everybody's like, you gonna go John Cox and fill it full of slushy and whatever else, You put chocolate milk in there when you got up the next morning. I mean, all that stuff. But with this one, I'm sure it will come off. But they put something on it to make this one a little tighter where the top doesn't want to come off. Because in years past, they said, people have picked it up during the winning moment and the top will try to come off. So this one's. I pulled on this one pretty good, and the top didn't come off, so I'm just gonna leave it like it is.
Don't break that thing. Don't break it.
Hey, what do you want to accomplish in this following year as the Forrest Wood Cup champion? What are your goals with this platform?
I would love to win another event next year, a regular season. That would be really awesome. If nothing else, I'd just like to do better in Angler of the Year. I'd like to do better in Angler of the Year every year. I know there's gonna come a point where you can't do better. But I finished 22nd this year. I had one really bad event and one that, a couple that I should have done a little better. And so I felt like I had a good year. I just kind of didn't show the year I should have had, if that makes sense. And I don't mean to, for that to sound arrogant in any way or nothing like that. I just kind of know it could have been if I'd made some better decisions. So the biggest thing is to make better decisions next year and always do better. And so I'd like to do better in Angler of the Year standings. A great goal would be to win an event. And, just better myself.
There's always room for improvement. Hey, we got a question that just came into me, viewer mail here,
right.
And this is from Jordan in Alabama. Okay, This is from Jordan in Alabama, and he wants to know, how many years has Justin rocked the same polo, a.k.a. Ralph Lauren white hat?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Let's see. I got my polo hat when I was like 13, and I don't think I hung it up until the beginning of this year. So I rocked a polo hat for a solid 12 years of my life. I really appreciate that hat. Jordan kind of like to hate on it though. I'm not sure why.
Same exact hat?
No, I had two different ones.
Okay.
One would last for about 5 years, about all the good I could get out of it.
Where's the hat at? Where is this hat?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I've lost my most recent one in the house move lately.
Do you think Zeus chewed it up?
I would let him if I could find it, because that thing gets pretty gnarly.
And by the way, Jordan from Alabama also confessed to us previously. I don't know if you saw the interview or not, but when he grows up, he wants to be Justin Atkins, win a Forrest Wood Cup, and have a beautiful wife. That was his goals and aspirations.
That's a really good goal to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there. Hey, you won $300,000. Okay, and we hear this all the time. That winning a Forrest Wood Cup or winning a Bassmaster Classic can equate to $1 million in product endorsements and appearances and everything else. Is that realistic? Is that realistic, Justin?
Over the course of multiple years, I'd say absolutely. You know, when you said that, it kind of made me think of a line out of my favorite movie when Forrest Gump gets shot in the buttocks. He says that was $1 million wound, but I ain't seen a dime of that money yet.
That's it. That's it in a nutshell, right
The
there.
$1 million cup.
No, it definitely is. This day and age, you have so many fishermen. I would say 15 years ago, absolutely, it was $1 million deal right off the bat. It's definitely it's worth a lot of money for sure. And I would say over the course of a couple of years, building some relationships with companies and building on them, year after year, within a few years, you could definitely, accumulate, what you've done over those past few years. I'm not gonna say it becomes like $1 million every year kind of deal, but it's definitely worth a lot of money.
Yeah. So, have you seen any of this? I mean, you were just doing the Forrest Gump reference there, but have you started to see some
Absolutely.
offers?
Yeah, absolutely. It's unbelievable. I'm not gonna say it makes it just super easy to, all these people call and just want to start mailing me checks, but it makes it a lot easier to get in the door with these people and
Sure.
create, relationships with them and be able to talk to them. Because when I call them, they know who I am, and
Yeah.
and I'm not just a kid from Alabama anymore.
You can just walk into the meeting with that cup under your arm,
That's right. That definitely, that just definitely helps open the door. And
That's a notch on the belt.
Yeah.
It sure is. Hey, I had I had brunch with Bill Taylor earlier today. Yeah, we went to Waffle House for brunch, and
Okay.
he had the Oriental omelet, and I had biscuits and gravy.
Okay.
And Bill wanted me to ask you, since you're a big shot now. I mean, you are. You're definitely you're kind of a big deal. Okay, you really are. So
People know you.
Bill said, Pat, he knew you were coming on the show tonight. So Bill's like, Pat, run this by Justin and see what he thinks. And he's got this new rule proposed, and it's called Bill Taylor's 3 rods on deck, 1 in hand. So in the 2018 season, he's thinking about limiting you guys to 4 sticks. 4
Perfect.
sticks, okay? So he wanted to know if you had to pick 4 sticks to bring on the boat with you, and only 4, what would those combos be? What would those combos be?
I would have, if I could only have 4 rods that I was going to take all year long,
Yes, sir.
I would have 2 7-foot, 3-inch Abu Garcia Fantasistas and medium heavies.
Gotcha.
I would have a Abu Garcia Villain 2 in, I would have it in, a 7.6. Sorry, I would have a Villain 2 and a 7.6 medium heavy, and then I would have a 7.11 heavy flipping rod. Those 3 Fantasistas, you can do anything on them, from swim a jig, throw a spinner bait, throw a big worm out deep, whatever. And then I would have a 7.6 for kind of like your bush flipping, things like that. And then your heavy punching, I'd use the 7.11. I'd put Revo STXs on all of them, and Berkeley Trilane, fluorocarbon, or braid.
Boom! You nailed it right there. Have you had a chance to try the new Revo Generation 4s yet?
Yes, I have. Awesome.
Yeah, I've been using the ALX and the MGX and the MGX Stream, but I'm really looking forward to the new line, the Premiers and the STXs and the SXs. So
The new rocket.
yeah, I mean, why? Now that you're kind of a big deal, man, I mean, you should probably be throwing all MGX Streams,
Yeah, well, I'll
like
I'll
Mike
talk-
Iaconelli.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have to talk to some people about that. But I'll be pretty content with throwing some SSs and XTXs if that's what they want to toss my way. But dude, I like throwing the MGX on some like lighter stuff like a jerk bait, things like that. Those MGXs are unbelievable for that. You can cast a jerk bait a mile. When I get into like real heavy duty stuff, I like the Premier, the STX, the SX, the Rocket. You know, those reels do a really good job when you're throwing braid or just forcing big fish, being abusive to your reel, things like that.
Conor McGregor over here loves the Rocket. He loves
And
it.
the STXs too. The Gen 1 STXs are just like bulletproof.
Those are
I
Brian
love those
Thrift's
things.
reels.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
For sure.
Those are Thrifty's reels. Hey, we play game shows here. Have you ever been on a game show? Are you ready to play a game show?
I guess I was born ready.
Yeah, I mean, of course you are. You're a Forrest Wood Cup champion. We're going to play the Bass and Match game. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Miss Jackson, give me a beat. Ah, yes. There it is. Are you ready for the Bass and Match game with 2017 Forrest Wood Cup champion Justin Atkins?
Tell them the rules, Pat.
These are the rules, Brian. Justin, I am going to give you a phrase and you relate it to bass fishing. Okay? The first phrase to you, Justin, is sabotage. Sabotage.
If I fished the Elite Series, I would sabotage Jordan Lee's boat.
Boom! That is a winning answer right there. We got that one. Old Hopalong. Old Hopalong.
Well, guys, I'm gonna go out here on Pickwick, out on them ledges, and I'm gonna get my jig, and that's just my old hop-along.
Let's hear Old Hopalong. But that is the wrong answer. Old Hopalong is Brandon Kopp.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brandon. I forgot about Brandon.
Brandon?
He's captain.
Yeah. You did that to his leg. We found that out backstage at the Cup, too. So
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I was trying to see into the future how the Cup was going to go down, and so I was trying to give myself every advantage.
Like a Nancy Kerrigan thing.
The moneymaker. The moneymaker.
That I'm a little stick, definitely my moneymaker.
That was a moneymaker. That was a $300,000 check casher right there. Thugs. Straight up thugs.
And there is a specific thing that I'm supposed to know what that stands for, or you just want to
I want to know. I want you to relate thugs to bass fishing.
Those big smallmouth in the current at Mississippi River were some straight up thugs.
That's right. That's exactly
the
where
right
I was
answer.
going with that right there. Surf casting. Surf casting.
Woo! Out there, out on Lake Murray and all that traffic, I felt like I was trying to surf cast the whole time.
Yeah, you sure were. That's
exactly.
it. The last one to you here, Justin, is Mississippi mud. Mississippi mud.
I love that spinnerbait and some Mississippi mud.
That's the deal right there. Justin Atkins, you are a winner right here on Straight Cast. Yes. We're going to send you let's see what your an IMA stick 131 we're going to send you.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you go. That's your prize right
We
there.
can't send it with hooks, though.
Yeah, no hooks. No hooks. And we're removing the lead because of the laws in California.
Right.
I got you.
So basically, you're getting a
Be
shell.
safe.
You're getting a shell there. You know you're a role model. Do you realize that you're a role model, that you are now a force to be reckoned with, not only amongst your peers, but you are a role model to old and young alike? How does that feel to you, man?
I'll be honest with you. That's the most. I think that's the hardest thing to kind of wrap my mind around. You know, it's cool. I won the tournament, and I won a bunch of money, and all that's great, and that's what I've strived for my whole life, and I look forward to the next tournament, things like that. But getting up every morning and being like, people are looking up to you. Pay attention to what you're doing today. I tell myself that every morning when I get up, and not that I, ever acted like a fool in public, but people
I
just
do
pay
all the
attention.
time. I do that.
He's stopping a little earlier at
Yeah.
stop signs now.
That's right. I just try to pay attention to, what I do and what I say, and just be sure to, just pay a little more attention to what's going on around me. I try to remember what it was like being 8 years old and looking up to somebody. And so, if I see kids in a tackle store fishing, I try to give them a high five and
Absolutely.
talk to them about whatever, just doing things like that. You can't ever forget where you came from.
And be like Roland Martin. And just like if you see kids, you throw them a bag of bait and you say, You don't work these, son. They work for you. Just like that.
There you go.
Just like that. And then you're
Hey,
like,
speaking of you looking up to guys when you were 8 years old, who did you look up to when you were 8 years old? Who was your guy?
When I was 8 years old, probably Larry Nixon.
yeah.
That's the right answer.
At 27 years old, I kind of got like a man crush on Jason Christie, Greg
Christie's
Hackney.
awesome.
So
Hack attack, dude.
and of course Jordan Lee, but I mean I've been in the boat with him a few hundred times.
Hey, you know what Hackney told us, dude? Which was one of the coolest things he ever said on this show. That one of his things on his bucket list is to catch a great white shark on a flip stick.
That's pretty awesome.
Dude, that's Hackney.
Yes.
That is a force to be reckoned with. Right
Yeah,
there.
he's a cool dude. He has a show. I don't know if anybody watches it or knows about it, but it's Louisiana Sportsman TV.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it airs, in Louisiana. I always get on YouTube and watch it. And he does everything, just anything outdoors, He's bass fishing, red fishing, squirrel hunting, deer hunting, whatever,
Chupacabra hunting.
Absolutely. I mean, he does it all. And he's so just good and methodical, and everything he does, he's 100% about it, in the outdoors, and I think that's awesome. I strive to be like that one day.
Dude, you're getting there. I mean, absolutely, you're on the right path, dude. You're one of the things that intrigues me about you is you are definitely an offshore dude. You're an offshore dude. A lot of anglers throughout the country we're FBRs. You know what FBRs are?
I do not.
We're freaking bank runners. That's what we are. Okay, that's, and I said it politically correct here on the show. But a lot of offshore fishing is intimidating to many anglers. So, can you give some words of wisdom and advice? Like, you're going to go out to a lake you've never been on. How do you get an offshore deal going?
I guess the best way to gain confidence is, if you have to live on a lake where an offshore bite is, prevalent, where, I live on the Tennessee River, but there's a lot of places, Clear Lakes, things like that. I grew up on a river that's always dirty. I mean, I didn't make an overhanded cast till I was 19 years old. I was steady pitching.
I love it.
And, but living on, coming to Pickwick a lot and living here now, that there's an offshore bite, and so you take all your shallow rods out and you make yourself go out there and learn how to do it. That's the first way to gain confidence. But, a lot of people get too hung up in how vast being out off the bank is, but it's really not. If you have a good, chip, I run a Lake Master chip in my hummingbirds. If you have a good chip, shows you good bottom contours, things like that, and then learn how to just read your graph as far as like, it's got a little cardinal direction on the side. It says what 50 feet or 100 feet is. Learn how to read that, and then without having to look over there and measure it, train your eyes to just look at the distance from that waypoint. Okay, well, I'm about 70 feet. Well, 70 feet's about this far. And I like to do things like drop a buoy out and waypoint by that buoy, and then I'll back off, and I can scroll out there to that waypoint and say, well, that's 100 feet, and that's about what it looks like, or whatever. And just train yourself to use your electronics. I mean, when you get really dialed in and you know how far things are and how to read them and whatnot, dude, offshore fishing's way easier than fishing on the bank.
Gotcha. You made it seem so less intimidating to me right now.
Yeah, that was good
In
stuff.
fact, I'm very
with the
comfortable
buoy.
right now. I'm going to ask my mom to bring me some hot milk so I can relax even more. No, that's phenomenal. That was good words of wisdom there. So basically on this offshore deal too, I got to ask you. You kind of told us how to break it down there. So it's the basic tools of the trades. I mean, so when you go out there, I imagine that you just can't go wrong having a jig tied up. I mean, that's a good search bait.
Yeah, that's always a good offshore bait for sure. And if you're fishing places where the fish are really schooled up or going to school up, a crankbait's really good. You can cover a lot of water and catch a lot of fish, throwing a crankbait. And sometimes not even so much catch a lot of fish, but it'll get you a bite. And then you can slow down and really fish an area. But places where you're just fishing deep in general, and the fish may not be schooled up, maybe like a fish or two kind of deal. A jig's great, a shaky head's great, whether it be a light one you throw on a spinning rod or a big shaky head like a 3/4 or something.
Gotcha.
You throw a larger worm. you know, that's always really good. And then when you get to the heron style lakes, really clear lakes where fish can see 15, 20 feet in the water, throwing that big top water bait to call them up is also really good.
Hey, tell us about speaking of offshore stuff. Tell us about your buddy Shane's baits. What?
The Shane's umbrella rigs.
Yeah.
Shane's Baits makes the absolute best umbrella rigs on the market. It's got the great high quality components. Makes the blades a glory. I'm all about a bladed rig. I absolutely love it. It's almost rig season here on Tennessee River. I can't wait to get out there and catch 100 a day on it. And I'll be firing the blades of glory around. Don't you worry. You're kind of getting off into some of my bags of secrets now.
Well, that's what we're trying to do. See, there's a method to my madness there, Justin.
There you go.
Now, speaking of secrets here, like you talked about fishing those dirty rivers, man, and I've been throwing that mini me in that dirty water on the river, just kind of roll casting it like a spinner bait, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And have you done that kind of deal?
No, I'll be honest with you. A lot of my pitching that I do in dirty water, I'm kind of just like a straight creature bait kind of guy. I like just throwing like a Berkeley Havoc, a pit boss on just a 5/16, 3/8 ounce weight, whatever. I'm pretty straightforward when it comes to that kind of deal. Or I like to throw a spinner bait. I love throwing a finesse style jig early in the year, like February, March. I love getting on that bite at Pickwick. You can go run some bluff walls and throw that little finesse jig and just get thumped by big ones. Me and my dad went right before I went to Cumberland this year. Actually, went the day before I was going to leave, and I caught a 5-10 smallmouth and like a 7-8 largemouth within like 10 minutes of each other on a finesse jig.
Oh my
awesome.
gosh, that's nuts. Do you ever still get into that bite on Pickwick? Like, do they ever get back in those? Well, I remember seeing Marty Stone catching them in those cypress trees on Pickwick. Is that bite?
Yeah, that's up at an area called Coffee Slough. It's really good, March, April, if we get, flood conditions. But the thing about it is, you get some good high water, late March through the 1st of May on Pickwick, and that water gets in the bushes, dude. It's the best flipping bite, you've ever seen. You can catch one out of every single piece of cover all the way down the bank. It's awesome.
Oh, God. We got to go to Pickwick.
Yeah, let's go.
We need to get to Pickwick.
Let us know when the water's high. We'll be there.
Got a lot of fish in it. It's pretty amazing how many hundreds of thousands to millions of bass are in this place. It's crazy.
So if I take you to the Waffle House for brunch, will you take me out fishing?
You buy me an all-star breakfast with a chocolate chip waffle, I can probably put you on a bass.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the way to it right there. Hey, dude, I thank you so much for coming on this show, and thank you for rescheduling because we didn't feed the water to the gremlins, or feed them after midnight this week. So it kind of worked out, dude, and we're really happy that you came back on and the support that you show, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I've enjoyed it, and I'd love to come back on another time soon.
Dude, we'd love to have you. This
sure.
is not a normal Bass talk show, in case you can't tell.
That's right.
He says with a smirkish grin right there. This is your 2017 Forrest Wood Cup champion. One more studio audience round of applause for Justin Atkins right there. Dude, thank you so much. Best of luck to you in the upcoming season, and enjoy your time at home with your wife and Zeus.
Awesome. I appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all for having me.
Excellent. Justin Atkins right there. Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it. Without you and your support, this show is absolutely nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Nothing.
We can't do it without you. And please remember to support our sponsors. Go to straightcast.net. Click on the links. Helps us out. It's going to help you out, too. Hey, next week, we'll be back Wednesday night. Same bat time, same Bass channel. Right here, straightcast.net. Ryan, where did we get this amazing sign behind
our
us?
New
right
sign.
Here?
Yeah, my brother Brett Whitaker made that for us.
Brett Michaels?
Brett Whitaker.
Brett Michaels
Brett
Whitaker?
Michaels Whitaker, yeah.
Nice.
No, he makes these out of storm windows, and this is what he does. He's an artist, and it's reverse glass painting with spray paint, and he put a light behind it, so we got a light up sign. And I mean, he can if you got big fish you caught, you got a great your favorite picture, he can paint that for you too.
Boom.
Picture of you and your lunker.
How do they buy his stuff?
BrettWhitaker.net's his website, but check him out on Instagram, at Brett Whitaker Art. And that's it's just anything you want he can put in this kind of form.
Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it.
And a thanks again to my brother for making that
Absolutely.
for us.
Thank you so much, Brett.
Brighten it up. No more wrinkly banner.
There it is. And thank you so much to all you viewers out there. Thanks to the guests. Hey, we'll catch you next week. So take those power poles up and head on off into the sunset. I bid you peace, Bass Galaxy. I'm Pat Renwick, and I'm out.